Oh, what's about that?
Got it.
And then we're going to gallop on the screen tonight. That's not a snowy river. That's a snowy river.
Wait, no. That's not the right movie.
I've got no quotes from this movie. Wait, I do. It's he's not a lad, brother. He's a man. Nah, it just doesn't fit right. Hey, 1982 is The Man from Snowy River. Here we go.
The Man from Snowy River.
Way down upon a snowy river.
Yeah.
Wait, that's Swanee River.
Yeah, no, that's not the right
just
one.
a snowy river, two.
Thank you, Russ.
That was good.
1982, Russ, what is your age in 1982?
I was about 7.
He was a twinkle.
You're
in his
a
daddy's
fucking
eye.
liar.
Oh, wait.
No, this
Liar.
movie is freaking old.
It is old.
So old.
It's
You
so
guys-
it's
How
got
old
Kirk
is it?
It's so old. It's got Kirk Douglas in it twice.
It's
Twice.
so old. It's so old that
This-
you guys were young.
I know the sequel is a Disney production, but this feels like such a Disney production until you get a little bit into it and you're like, oh yeah, it's way lacking the Disney money.
Yeah.
But way to go for the Snowy River Movie Picture Coalition or whatever the fuck they put together.
And you can totally feel the Disney money in the second movie. Like
I don't doubt it.
Return to Snowy River it's not the Man from Snowy River, but
Hey,
you're still
Ben.
in the Snowy River, so it's not all bad.
Have
Russ,
you
what
ever
did you
watched-
think about the sequel? You watched it immediately after watching this movie, right?
I did. And let me tell you guys, absolute masterpiece. Cannot be missed by anyone. I don't know how I went so long. Thank you,
All right.
Disney.
Well,
there
how
are
about this one?
reasons
Go
to
ahead and
going
rate and
back.
rate this one.
There are reasons
This
for
one?
going back.
A++. I don't know what else to say. It's just perfect in every way. So honest reviews. Yeah. I never watched this movie before.
What?
Had you ever heard
For all of your talk about horsemanship?
Had you ever heard of this movie before? That's what I
I mean,
wanna
maybe
know.
I'd seen it before. Maybe I'd heard of it before.
Quick shout out to my brother Mark, who actually realized in our open range show what Joe was trying to remember.
Yes, this was the
That it
movie
was
I
this
was
movie.
trying to reference.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Good job,
Huge
Mark.
shout out to Mark.
Yeah, but you know, this ain't the way, pard. What? Go ahead, Russ.
This is the way.
I mean, I don't even know. I feel like it was better than I thought it was going to be. It's not the kind of movie that I want to watch, but taking that out of it, it's probably like a B-.
All right.
What's
I'm
Joe? Do you remember what the
surprised.
name of the wild horse pack is?
Oh, the Brambies.
Brambies.
Yeah,
This is
the
what I call your
Brambies.
dogs from now on, Russ. This is your dogs are the Brambies, and Gus is the stallion.
He's joined the Brambie herd.
That's right. Yep, they just run around by the river, and stray dogs join their pack.
We saw
I
clear
feel
tracks.
like-
He's joined the Brumbies.
I feel like Ellie's the stallion and Gus is all the other horses combined.
I'd say that's pretty apt. I'd say you got it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Joe, take us on a tour down memory lane and rate this movie so that you can defend it.
I don't have to defend shit. This is a movie, whatever. Talk about it show. The same way you eliminated the contest section, motherfucker. Look, for me, it's an A. This movie was introduced to me through my grandparents. There was a period of time where they were looking to do some travel in New Zealand and Australia, and it took a number of years to make that happen.
Is it because they wanted to walk the trail of the ring?
I have no idea. I know that I own a boomerang. I know a lot of Australian.
I remember you bringing that boomerang to grade school.
Yeah, no,
Trying that shit out on the Fairview greens.
Damn
Yeah.
straight. I think you were with me when I broke it.
Probably.
Could you actually get it to come back?
Fuck
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, there is a technique to throwing a boomerang, and I know
throw
how
it
to throw
upright,
one.
right?
That's right.
not to
throw
the
it
side.
Flat. Don't
No,
throw
no,
it flat
no.
like a frisbee.
And that
So you
shit
break
goes and curves and comes back around. Dude, remember all the times we used to bust out the didgeridoo at the coffee shop?
Fuck yeah.
And just bow, wah, wah, yeah, wah, 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 wah.
Dude,
All
there's
right,
some
that's
of that
enough of that.
Australian folk
I think-
music that is fucking a good listen to, man. It came up in the movie Wind. It came up again in this movie.
Wait, what did?
The Australian
movie?
folk music, Wind.
Oh,
We did an abbreviated review.
right.
That
Right
movie actually
between
has
Earth and Fire.
Clancy in this movie actually is the Australian boat captain in Wind. For just to throw it out there, a little trivia.
You don't say.
Anyways,
That's insane. That's
For me,
insane.
it's an A.
Wait
Despite
dude.
the nostalgia factor for me, the movie itself wasn't a train wreck. It was decently executed. The cinematography is absolutely stunning. I think whoever made the movie was a fan of horseflesh. I feel like the horses really, kind of take center stage. Overall, I'm not mad at it. It hasn't aged well, but it's been a number of years since I watched it, and I wasn't mad at watching it again. It was
All right.
a good experience.
Are you done with your horseplay now?
Yeah,
Yep.
for now.
Hey, keep the horseplay to a minimum.
Don't worry, I'll come back to it.
The Brambies. Did I get it right? I feel like I want to call them like the Bombas.
No, the
The
Brambies.
Brambies.
The Brambies.
The Brambies. So how come there hasn't been a boy band by that name? That would be a good name.
There has been in Australia.
In Australia, I bet there
Has
has.
there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Did you look them up?
Yeah.
Joe doesn't even know. He's just pulling a mic right now.
Gotta
Dude,
be.
no, they were the
Gotta
same era.
be.
They were the same era as New Kids on the Block.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. I've never seen this movie. It's
Really?
been 40 years. 40 years. Came out in 1982. It's the 40-year anniversary.
This is how much Ben respects.
This is
my
where I
movie
pull the
reviews.
chain and confetti
This
comes
is-
down. And
This is how much Ben respects my movie reviews. I just want to note that this show is biased.
whatever, dude, you said, let's watch this crazy ass 1982 movie. And I said, I'm in.
You did.
I've never seen it. I thought it was A Man Called Horse with Richard Harris at first. So, there is that. I thought I was watching a real Western, but we watched this movie and it was, it's Jim, and you're trying to tell me he did all that for a Sheila. I don't know. My Australian accent is hard, I think, but
They're gonna bring that on the Bandicoot.
can you
Bandicoot.
recommend that other people watch this movie? I feel like I just want people to get to the part where the guy you can't understand tells him he's got to earn the land he's inherited from his dead father. Fuck
Dude,
you!
He cuts
It's
him
my
off.
land.
He cuts him
Fuck off on your
so-
horses.
He
Are you
cuts him off
kidding
so
me?
fast when he tells him that too.
You got me to my right. You can't understand what the fuck that guy's saying. You
He
get
says
off this land until
something
you
like-
earn it. I don't even know. I give this movie a C. I don't know that I can tell anybody to watch it. There weren't a lot of really amazing things when I watched it that I was like, oh, you got to see it for this.
The horse scene where the horse is really scary.
All
and the
right, dude,
camera
where they
zooms in
where they
like that.
zoom in on that freeze frame of the horse's white eye. Yeah, that's worth it. That's
It's
Yeah.
the weirdest thing you've ever seen in a movie.
But it hasn't. But it's not though. If you've watched westerns, or been to the rodeo, or ever seen a man get
No.
dragged under a
What's
a horse.
We
Wait,
watched
wait.
a movie where I talked about it feeling, My Left Foot, where I talked about it felt like the Irish government was like, oh yeah, don't forget to do these things because this is Christy Brown is now part of our, history as far as a social construct goes. This movie is based on a poem by Banjo Bandicoot. No, what's his real name? Banjo Patterson. Wrote this poem, epic poem. I don't know. I don't think it's as old as Beowulf, but he's on the $10 Australian bill. He's in the movie in a bit part. This is like an Australian, if we were doing a Johnny Appleseed movie, this is like Australia. What am I coming out of?
He said Johnny Appleseed.
No, it is. Think of what's another like John Henry.
There you go.
Where
That's
is our
probably
John
better.
Henry
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Disney
Where
did
is
it.
Where
And that's why Disney got behind everything else. Like Disney brought folk heroes until Neil Gaiman nailed it in American Gods, brought folk heroes to the masses for a number of years. So it definitely has a feel like, oh, let's get Australia in there. Although, where the fuck is Snowy River in Australia? This looks like a movie set. 90% of the time, we're on a movie set.
Yeah, I would believe it.
They never really talk about what Snowy River is. They're just like, oh, over yonder. That's where I'm from.
They don't, but I'll tell you what, they do think Mansfield and Marigig. I don't know. We can't really pronounce it two different ways or else we start to get in trouble. But they thank them in the credits for, obviously that's where they filmed. There is the Delante plantation that looks like probably if they had to film some with water, it was there. It's northeast of Melbourne, southwest of Wagga Wagga.
This is
real place in Australia.
Yeah, Wagga Wagga.
This is where Ben's really trying to come up with some kind of talking points about the movie.
Well, if you
I'm telling you, as far as geography goes, it's almost smack dab in the middle of Australia, but just to the east of the giant desert that takes up most of the continent.
Exactly. I was going to say, because it's probably one of the only areas where they've got a running river.
Right.
Due to the annual rainfall in Australia. And honestly, that was one of the parts that I didn't understand when I was younger that I watched when I was later. And I was like, does Australia even have rivers? Like, is that a thing?
Yeah. I mean, they don't, obviously, just like Ireland has no stakes. The rivers have been driven out of Australia by Jim and whatever her name is. Trivia time, Russ.
Jessica.
10 seconds. Name 5 Australians. Go.
Crocodile Dundee, Steve Irwin. That's it. That's all I got.
Mel Gibson.
I know, right?
Russell Crowe.
Oh, fighting around the world.
I think Nicole Kidman. Is Nicole Kidman British or Australian? I think she's Australian.
I don't know. I'd be hard pressed.
Thunder from Down Under.
Let me Google it.
Hey, Down
Australians.
Under. I wore my down shirt. I don't have my undershirt on. But Joe.
Yes.
Better porn remake. The girl from the Hoey River. Carla from the Blowy River. Or the man from the Bony River. Which one?
None of them. I think we should say the girls at the Snowball River.
Oh, wow. Gross.
I mean,
you guys are weird. Hey, Hugh Jackman is Australian.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is.
Damn, I wanted to say
Crocodile Dundee. I actually expected Crocodile Hunter and Crocodile Dundee immediately following each other from Russ, but
that's funny.
He called him Steve Irwin, so Crocodile Hunter.
I wish I had said Crocodile Hunter now.
Russ, you work in the wine industry. What are some of the best wines from Australia? I agree.
No, I feel
Hero. Keep your grass to yourself, Melbourne. Jesus, make a Chardonnay that tastes like a fucking fruit. Why don't you? God damn, it's like lawn clippings in my grass.
They don't make wine out of actual grapes.
That's New Zealand.
They just make it out of poisonous insects.
Hey, so
the insects in Australia? Are you kidding?
Oh, Jesus, let's get to it now.
Dog.
Yep, let's talk about it. They all want to kill you.
Dog.
They all want to kill you, dude. There's so much shit in Australia that's just gonna fucking kill you.
How did Homo sapiens even survive there? Like, that's insane.
Like 25 in the whole country. You got Ed. You got Johnny Boo. I don't know. You know what's another really good thing from Australia is Frayed. It's the story of like this shitty family. Oh, it's really fucking good. Hey, Kelly, what was the name of the Australian TV show you were hooked on? Frayed? Yeah. Frayed. Really great. Watch it. Highly recommend.
All right.
Highly recommend.
I could not get over the fact that you asked me that question and I couldn't answer it because I worked at Treasury Wine Estates and they're
you got a personal
company.
person you should have named.
That's all we cared about was Penfolds, the Australian brand. But hey, whatever. What did you say for the last 5 minutes?
Penfold from like Danger Mouse. Remember Danger Mouse from the 80s? He had a
what the fuck? We're off in the
do you remember? Dude, I love Danger Mouse. And he had his little buddy Penfold. He was like a mole.
Let me talk about Treasury Wine Estates some more. No, I'm kidding.
No? All right, let's not.
The only tie back I can make to this movie, back to the other Western that we did, which is Open Range, which reminded me of this movie.
In what way?
The free cattle ranging. Or the free range cattle. Yeah.
You ever see The Piano? Cattle. Have you guys seen The Piano?
It has full frontal nudity.
It does. Harvey Keitel for sure. Yeah. I don't remember if that's New Zealand or Australia, but what age were you when you realized it was two different places?
Yeah, I grew up with great geography because I moved out to California from Wyoming, and I learned early on that it was really funny for me that most of the kids my age didn't know geography. So when I told them I was from Wyoming and they'd say where, I'd say west of here. And
which it's actually east of there.
Well,
good stuff.
West of
good stuff.
Fuck.
I used to work. There's Hawaii and then there's Wyoming right next to it.
Yeah. Fuck.
I used to work with a guy from New Zealand, and I would write down things that he said because they were so funny to me. Like the euphemisms that they had, they were so abrasive.
The idioms that they've got are fantastic, dude.
Dude, the thing that he used, he used it regularly, and I loved it. He would say, "Oh, that stands out like a dog's balls."
Love it.
And I mean,
that's phenomenal.
Dog's balls really stand out.
Oh my God, dude. I've got to commit that to memory so I can use it the next time we look at a car. And be like, that panel sticks out like a dog's balls. It's going to kill at work. Thank you, Russ. That's phenomenal. I'm stealing that.
That's the whole reason Ben does the show. He's just farming for material.
Just for shit I can fire off at my painters.
No, they've got some Australians have got some incredibly unique idioms. I didn't feel like there were a lot of them in this show.
I mean, there were a couple idioms, but they went by pretty good. Jim didn't seem like he was too bad. But
like the
who isn't an Australian idiom is Kirk Douglas.
There you go.
Holy shit, Spartacus himself. Double rolls.
Movie.
He died 2 years ago.
Rolls. I watched him do one-arm push-ups at the Oscars when he was like 80 something.
Seriously?
Dude, this guy is a fucking legend.
Dude, that's so much better than Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Oh, come on. Let's I don't even. Jesus Christ.
Now we can hashtag it. Fuck
Guess
off.
how old he was when he died?
80,000 years old.
He was pretty close. 103.
Yeah, dude. Damn. I'm telling you, this guy was a fucking legend. He was from Hollywood when it was still fucking snorting cocaine in between takes and beating people and getting to do whatever the fuck you wanted.
No, he was the leading man. Kirk Douglas has got chops.
Oh God, dude, his jaw, bro.
Yeah. The dimple.
Ever heard of Michael Douglas? It's from this guy's balls.
Yeah.
He lived through World War I.
That guy stood out like a set of dog's balls.
Dude, he survived, or he was born during World War I, lived through World War II.
Wait, what year was he born?
1916.
Okay, all right. When was Franz Ferdinand? When was Franz Ferdinand fucking assassinated?
What the fuck?
I don't know.
See, Ben's just trying to cloud the issue. Keep going. Right?
I am. Yeah, I wanted a history lesson. Sorry.
He got serious about it all the way to COVID. He did all of it. World War I and II and COVID.
Yeah. World War I, II, the Great Depression.
Well, just through it all. The other stuff. COVID.
I'm not
he got to see
not an animal. I'm a man. Kurt Douglas, man. Yeah. Unfortunately, he is so old that how many of his movies can you actually name? Spartacus, and I'm out.
The Man at Snowy River and The Man at Snowy River 2. Man from Snowy River.
Was he? I don't think he's in the sequel.
He is not in Return to Snowy River.
No,
Disney
throwing spaghetti.
would not work with Kurt Douglas because of a scandal he had where 2 people were killed in an orgy.
What?
Nah, I couldn't come up with a credible lie.
Off. That was pretty good, though. I mean,
my bad.
Like, we were
hey, here's a question for you. Is Spur really Gandalf? Was this Middle Earth the whole time?
Dude, the battle,
I would say
Gablierozo or whatever the fuck it is, totally happened in his mind.
He reminds me more of the like all-powerful being from the Lord of the or Middle Earth kind of lore. What's that guy's name?
Fizban.
Tom Bombadil.
Oh,
he's Tom Bombadil.
What? Tom Bombadil is obviously Danny DeVito if you've read the books, which I know you haven't. Dude, but he is 100% Danny. In fact, he's Danny DeVito from fucking Hercules, the Disney cartoon. He's Pan in that movie.
Never put that visual on it. That changes the whole book for me.
I don't agree with you.
Everything.
And for the record, I have listened to all the books. And
I mean, you referenced Tom Bombadil, so you got props just off the bat.
Yeah, I listened to the Silmarillion. Did you guys read that one? Because that
Silmarillion?
Silmarillion.
No, it's cool. Call it whatever you want.
Dude, I know all about that lore, and it is long and written really weird.
There's a meme on Facebook right now about it's been 3 chapters of describing the tree. Please move on. And then it says Joel R. Tolkien. He's like, no, I'm going to describe it for 5 more.
That's right.
Dude, it's the whole book. It's like one of the longest books I've ever listened to. And it is just a script. It's written so weird. But
speaking of movies that are speaking of experiences that are long and weird and scripted, this movie.
We're getting into high school shit? Oh, no. Go ahead.
Horse movie, love story,
horse movies,
or redemption movie.
It's all of them.
This movie suffered from doing too much.
I don't think it really
suffered. You think so?
I
thought it was pretty straightforward. It's
a little bit.
I honestly thought the movie was really simple. And one of the reasons I wouldn't watch it is it's basically like a Disney movie that's not animated.
Almost Hallmark, huh?
It's just a little kids movie kind of thing that has a simple story.
Very proper.
Very
proper. Blah. There is at no point where he comes into a room where she has been bathing and is covered in a shift or anything like that. They're strictly I save you from a rock outcropping, and there is no hanky panky afterwards.
Oh, yeah, no, the dresses, sleeves to the friggin' wrists. I mean, it's very proper and probably.
How come they didn't get Jamie Gertz to play that role?
I mean, it's Australia.
Oh, right. She's not Australian. Right.
Wait, I got to ask you guys before I forget to ask, what's the worst? Which one's worse? When his dad dies in this and he yells no, or when Anakin finds out that his long lost or his love is dead? She died during childbirth and he yells no.
The dad scene when he screams no into the ether. Even Kelly remarked, like, come on, dude, what? Look at that daily and you were like, dude, let's have one where you cry over him.
Such bad acting. But you remember when Darth Vader yells no. He's like, no.
James Earl Jones, dude, he's just no good. Let me ask you this, Russ. You watch an entire movie made in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
How shitty is it there's no kangaroo in here? What the fuck?
Right? I mean, not even as a scenery shot.
They eat
They eat the kangaroo. I mean, so I guess technically it's in a shot.
No, it's wallaby. No, it's wallaby stew.
That's kangaroo.
It's not even marsupial, Sue, and it could be a kangaroo. It's a specific marsupial. It's wallaby, and it looks gross as fuck.
What's a
I like
what's a
when
wallaby?
he walks. You know what?
I just
The
Googled a wallaby.
line-
Joe's right. Wallabies are kangaroos.
The one line that
Is it?
Yeah.
obvious. Yeah, I told you. Wallaby.
They
is
do look
kangaroo.
like
I hate so much about the way you are.
Whatever,
Me
dude. It's
or
not
Joe?
the first
Which-
time you've lost to me when facts came to the friggin' table.
sorry. Sorry for having Google. I should have just made some up and been like, no, it's a dog.
One of the lines I
It's a
love the
dog
best.
that knows how to play poker.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
unlike Ben. What? One of the
Oh,
best-
Play some poker right now. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Big
one of the-
blind. I'm in.
One of the lines. It's like the 8th time I've said it. I'm not gonna let go. Just
One of the
I said,
what?
guys? One of the lines that stuck with me the most in this movie, and may have influenced my managerial style at one point, was when the guy who runs the ranch comes in and tells Craig that he can't go on the muster.
Uh-huh.
Craig's like, "What?" He
You
says,
mean Jim?
Jim Craig.
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 I need to borrow your VCR right
They
quick.
call Craig.
well, his name
It's
is
the Mac.
Craig's taking a shit. What?
Smokey. That's Smokey.
He says, I don't give the orders. I just. What
He
did-
said,
no, he's saying, I don't
"Come
make
on."
the orders. I just
Great
give-
reading.
I don't make the orders. I just give them. And
Yeah.
when I give them,
You can
That's
do
all
this,
there
George
is.
Bush Jr.
Dude, the gravelly voice guy in the little house where everybody lived who worked on the ranch, and you got the gravelly voice guy who's kind of his buddy, kind of make sure that Curly's not too much of a piece of shit.
Oh,
which how
I did it before.
if this
I'll do it
movie
again.
was this movie rated G or PG? Like
At the
I
time,
wish they would have gone to
probably R.
PG-13 and Curly would have got killed. Like, where is the justice for Curly being a little shit?
Oh no, he
I-
fell in the river and his stopwatch quit working. Like that's appropriate.
Yeah, I actually really like how he
Wah,
pulls
wah,
out the-
wah.
he pulls out the gun and he's like, Curly, you can't use a bottle, but that's it. You guys keep fighting. I'll go back. To
Right. Yeah, put the bottle down, but
Well,
you
that's
know,
part
otherwise.
of being a man, because that's the
Yeah.
other journey that this movie tried to complicate with. It was
Hey,
kind of
hey. If you're gonna get rapey, don't get too rapey. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
the end of the movie is the biggest letdown for me. He rides off, leaves his chick.
Oh, but he's gonna be back for her. That dude, he
Well, which
60
is where
brood
the
mares
movie-
in there.
which is
I'll be
where the-
back for him
Which is
and
where-
the girl.
This is why you go back to Snowy River. It's for the pussy. I mean,
And the beer.
Yeah.
You got to drink the beer.
I thought it was, from what I read on IMDb, it was a dispute between landowners. Is why you went back to the sequel.
Yeah, he didn't actually go back for. Yeah, no.
All right.
Rides up. Woo! Yeah, no. Great.
So that
horse-
affected your management style, Joe. But what about your
Just a little
personal
bit.
style? How ready are you to put neckerchiefs in the rotation and start busting that shit out?
I mean, bitch, I'll put a ring on it. Like, bring me a neckerchief.
Telling you,
On
neckerchiefs.
it, dude.
This movie missed its mark in bringing fashion to the forefront with some plaid neckerchiefs.
Except neckerchiefs are a thing in Australia. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm saying we missed out.
Are they?
Well, now, I mean,
Where is the
America
neck
missed out.
wear?
Yeah,
Are
We
no,
got
they?
necklaces. We got probably piercings in the neck now. I don't know.
Joe-
People do
I
crazy
mean, the
shit.
80s are almost back in. They're doing the 60s and the late 70s right now with the bell bottom. So, I mean, in 10 years, neckerchiefs are going to be a thing.
Joe, are neckerchiefs actually the thing in Australia, or are you just saying things like Mike again?
No, neckerchiefs are a thing. Look it up.
What's
Google it.
what's the worst thing to
Google
come out of the
neckerchief, Australia.
All right, I will. I'll do it right now. Neckerchief.
Oh, well, you're talking real shit. Oh, Kelly brought it to a real level. Squash that question. All right. Hey, you know, when they do finally make out, beautiful country around their makeout spot. Like They
but their
didn't
first
have.
kiss was on horseback. How awkward is that? Like, I actually noted that in the scene. I was like, "That's your first kiss is on horseback." You're like twisted around, neck half breaking. Like, in reality, they did a good job capturing it on camera, but in reality, you know that his entire internal monologue was like
they bumped teeth and shit. They were like, "Oh fuck, yeah."
He's like, hold on to the reins so the horse doesn't go, or I'll lose this bitch off the back end.
Is it Harrison? Is it Hansen? Is it Hammerstead? What's Kurt Russell's second role with the H?
Kurt Russell.
That was actually a really funny part when when Spur is like, "What's the H for? Homeless." Yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty fucking funny little.
Did you mean Kirk Douglas when you said Kurt Russell?
Cut it.
Hey,
turn it off.
So just so you guys know, just so you know, according to Breakfast with Audrey, the neckerchief is in Australia.
Come on, US, it's time to catch up. Neckerchief, baby. We should all have one on. We missed out.
I'll have my neckerchief next week.
I gotta admit the breaking the horse scene.
I got my header chief on.
You know,
every week.
Fuck talking about this movie. Never mind.
You guys want to talk about Warhammer?
I mean, no, like, we've been all over the board, but like, honestly, bring it back just real quick at the end, just the last little touch on the movie. I'm not mad at the movie. Are you guys mad at the movie? Are you mad that you had to watch it?
No, it was at least entertaining. I have watched worse pieces of shit for this show specifically.
I really didn't. I wasn't like engaged, but
until it closed in on that white eye on that stallion.
Dude, that horse's eye scene, I did. Like, no one was around. I just started laughing. It reminded me of my friend Casey, who would just like burst into laughter at inappropriate times. But yeah, not my movie. Could I recommend this to a certain group? Yeah, they're probably somebody who is looking for an alternative to a Disney movie to watch with their kids.
Yeah, something safe. If they love horses, it's a shoe-in. Horseshoe, right?
I see what you did there.
Stop with all the horseplay, Ben.
I know, right? Stop horsing around.
You guys, it's horsing around. Have some horse sense.
No, but for me, this movie was deeply steeped in nostalgia with my grandparents. There were, I mean, imagine a 8, somewhere between 8 and 10 years old. It took them probably about 2 years to realize the trip. They got really into it. I had tapes of Australian folk music that they had dubbed for me, and that I would listen.
That's where we got into that didgeridoo.
Yeah, listen, exactly, the didgeridoo, and listening to on my Walkman and boomerangs, and and this movie was like the quintessential this. And then when Quigley Down Under came out, I was all over that.
Tom Selleck,
yeah, great Tom Selleck role.
Laura San Giacomo.
I mean, it should be next week, but it's Ben's pick, so we'll have to see. It's
San Giacomo.
Quigley Down Under.
No, it's San Giacomo.
San Giacomo.
It is.
But no, that's kind of my wrap on this movie. Is it held a special point for me. It's a good watch. It's fun if you want to watch something with your kids. It's got some things about different culture, different things than you're going to experience today. The ranch life. It was a different take.
It's all about that ranch life. Hey, do you guys remember the scene where they finally got together, Jim and whatever her name was, and the horse like whinnies as they freeze frame? Yeah. Does that mean they did it?
Well, of course.
You think so? I don't know. They were pretty chaste.
It was the conception. My favorite scene in this movie was the scene with Craig, Spur, and Clancy all around the campfire after the colt had been let go. And Harrison,
the dragon colt? No, wait, that's something else. Go ahead.
Motherfucker. No, the Colt 1911. Somebody let it off the leash. No.
Colt 45.
2 zigzags?
Yeah, 1911. Something. Was this even the right time frame? I don't know. What are we talking about?
1888, about the time that he's fighting for this Sheila. Kevin Costner and Robert Duvall are getting ready for a showdown in Fort Harmon country. You know what this movie didn't have? A goddamn gunfight.
Yeah,
not
Quigley,
one.
Yeah, you're right. No,
It had some whip shit though.
Quigley Down Under is the better Australian Western.
I would agree. But Quigley Down Under was fucking newer. I'm not going to say by how much, but I think it was more in touch with the context of Australia.
1990. Yeah.
Are any of them better than Mad Max?
Shut up, Ben.
What's the best Australian movie?
I'll Google it right now.
I'm pretty sure it's Melbourne.
The Great Gatsby?
Almost.
Yeah, no, The Great Gatsby's actually
second only to Sydney.
I didn't even think about The Great Gatsby, but
you know what Australia reminds me of is where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Having to track her to the Sydney Opera House.
What
Moulin Rouge?
Yeah, you remember Moulin Rouge?
Moulin Rouge.
Is that an Australian? So Nicole Kidman is Australian.
I did
You were
not know that
so
was
quick
Australian.
to take that bait. Like, oh, I can get this.
Moulin Rouge. Yeah, no,
But
that's a great
that is
fucking
an
movie.
Australian movie.
Anchor for Nicole Kidman being Australian. I guess Russell.
Isn't it Boz Lerman does that one? Well, whatever. Musicals.
I think we are all forgetting Crocodile Dundee. Obviously, the best Australian
True.
movie.
Let's talk about Crocodile Dundee's place in our growing up, Joe.
Oh, good God.
I mean,
that's
you know how
not
many
nice.
times I watched that scene where the crocodile comes out and bites the canteen? Like, I remember that movie vividly.
I tried to make animals like me by throwing up the metal sign.
Yeah. Hey, I know I'm cool. And they're like, no, dude, I'm in the Sade.
Dude, so they did the dope #1, right? Where he was the badass master in the Australian outback. And then they took him to the city. Crocodile Dundee, great series to watch. Just camp. It's fantastic. The first one was probably a legitimate stab at Australian culture.
That's a good reference with the knife.
Is the first one the
The
city
knife.
or is that the second one?
No, the second one's a city. And then the third one is just by the third one, it's like stop. Just stop.
I think I don't remember
Logan's
the
money
third one
grab.
all that well.
Mhm.
But when I think of Crocodile Dundee, the first scene that always comes to mind is that's not a knife, that's a knife. So I just assumed that was the first movie.
Mine is always when he dumps the cocaine into the hot pot and then puts the towel over his face. It's like, this is really how it's going to help you out. He's like, is it?
And that guy is
that's
so
number
hot off
one
his
scene from
fucking
Crocodile
ass. He's
Dundee.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Man,
okay.
I wish we had done Crocodile Dundee instead of this movie.
Oh, come on. You know what Crocodile Dundee doesn't have? Horses. A shit ton of them.
Yeah, fucking shit ton of horses. The horses were fucking beautiful, guys. I mean, that was another touchback to the nostalgia for me. I went to the rodeo every year with my grandma. You know, every fucking year until she couldn't go anymore. I went to the rodeo with grandma and freaking.
At one point, you did adopt Kid Rock's "Cowboy Baby" as your first, your personal theme song. When you'd walk into parties, you'd call ahead to have them.
Yeah, why you gotta out me and shit, dude? Now it's gonna be freaking stale. It's fucking.
Hey, Tom Burlinson, who played Jim,
just fucking phone it in, Ben.
Never rode a horse before this movie.
He also was pretty funny in The Office. Jim, one of the good characters.
Different people. The name Jim doesn't actually apply to all. It's not Slim. And
that's pretty good because all of the actors I saw on horses on this were pretty decent.
Pretty decent. The scene where he comes down and he just goes over and he's gonna get that goddamn bourbon go or whatever they're called. This group.
All right, what do you
one take
the
that was done in
Brambies.
one take.
What do you guys think about that scene? So for me, the scene that has always stuck out, and I know we're coming to the end of the show. We probably should have ended it.
Is it? No, let's go another hour. Let's do it.
No,
Go ahead, Russ.
I gotta hand it to us. We actually did 45 minutes and we filled it with just bullshit This is our
Phenomenal.
most bullshit episode we've
Maybe
done.
this wasn't the show we needed, but it's the show we deserved.
I really hope someone out there watches it this far and comments at this.
Alex, hey, thank you for sticking
Yes.
through this whole time.
Love you, Alex.
You've been here the whole time. I wanted to just start asking you questions, but
Thanks for showing up. But no, my favorite scene, the one that still, like the other night when I was watching it on my surround sound, I turned it up when the Brambie horde goes over that ridge, and Kirk Douglas's character, he's in the lead, right? Because he's the bad guy, and he comes up and pulls up short, and everybody pulls up short, and Jim Craig goes over the edge, and he does that little whip crack, whoosh, and the music, and just. Dude, still to this day gives me goosebumps.
no,
Remember what Joe said he liked about the movie Wind, and it was the sound of the wind.
Yeah. I'm a sound guy, man. You seen how much money I've spent on my sound system? I'm a sound guy. When he's
honestly,
riding,
dude,
when
he's doing the I'm gonna round up this wild horse herd sequence, not bad. Like, I wasn't saying to myself, super cheesy, this is dumb. He was going at it. I
was
tiring them out. I bet you were.
The little segue they did through the snowfall was the one point where I felt like the whip was justified. All right. So like he used the whip to bring Jessica up from the cliff. He's all the time riding around with the fucking whip. I don't think you see anybody else in the whole fucking movie that's got a goddamn whip. But here's this fucking guy running around, and every time he turn around, he's cracking this fucking whip. When he was riding through the snow, and he was
this is where cracking the whip came from, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
The end of that whip catching the snow and just giving that visual, I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. Like that added to it for me.
Agreed. What's a better whip, Cool or Dole?
Cool Whip. Always.
No way, dude. Dole Whip at Disneyland is way better. Are you shitting me?
Fuck the
Dole Whip at Disneyland is a fucking delight.
No.
Dude, I feel like such an idiot because when you said both those things, I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
You don't know Cool Whip?
I don't know Dole Whip, and now that you say it, I really want to try it. The fact that you like
it's really fucking good, bro. It's like a little pineapple freezer.
It's only good because you can get it there.
Nah.
Store-bought Dole Whip is shit.
Well, that may be. Well, so here we are at the end of the night. And did we miss anything to talk about on this movie? No, there really wasn't anything to talk about on this movie. But hey, for those of you who like PG or cleaner movies, give it a try.
Hey, what's the inflation rate on 1,000-pound horse for today's rates? Like, what's the conversion?
It wasn't pound.
A 40-year-old horse? You're asking me how much somebody's going to pay for a 40-year-old horse?
It was 1,000 pounds he paid for that colt.
It wasn't pounds.
Yeah, it was.
It was Australian money, so it was pounds.
I'm pretty sure at that point, Australian was based off of pounds.
No, because England was like, fuck you guys. You're a bunch of prisoners. Have this giant continent to yourselves.
Wait, like British did with America? Say what?
No, but Australia was like, you're going to go here and die.
Yeah, no, I mean, legit. Have you seen the size of the spiders? I get it.
So how oh man, no, I'm not even going to get into it. Never mind. Let's
Ben's like, let's wrap it up. We're done.
Dive into that another time.
For another Australian movie? What's the
next Australian movie we'll watch? I guess the next one they make.